Chapter 227 and 229. This evil Rimuru is, to put it simply, a villain. He's your typical endgame final boss of your typical isekai fantasy. He looks like Rimuru. Both Rimurus, to be exact. He looks like me, and he looks like the original Rimuru. This means he got his hands on Shizue's body. The way he did it was forceful, to say the least. In this world, Shizu didn't see any redeeming, human-like qualities in him and sought to kill him. Granted, he tried to kill her first, along with Elin, Cable and Jido. Unfortunately, Ifrit acted up in the worst possible moment and got both itself and Shizue eaten by Rimuru's predator. After that, evil Rimuru continued on the general path that we all took, but with a few twists. He dealt with the ogres by defeating them and enslaving them with his unique skill, Victor's Spoils, that lets him enslave anyone whom he defeats in a fair battle. Cable and Jido were killed and Elin was also enslaved. After that, he enslaved Gabra's men while killing Gabra himself, dealt with the Orc Lord and enslaved the orcs, tricked the Dryads and also enslaved them and enslaved the rest of the lizard men. Lots of enslaving. I guess I should be glad that this Rimuru is asexual. I'm pretty sure all Rimurus are asexual, and I'm just an outlier. And it turns out, in this world, Yuki Kagarazaka is a good guy. Rimuru, bruh. It's kinda ironic, Rimuru became the bad guy and Yuki is now a good guy. Luckily, for my sanity, those are the only changes. Well, that, and there is no Bryce here. Obviously, all of his subordinates hate serving under him, especially since this Rimuru treats all his women like possessions. Both his arms constantly have beautiful women in them, most of the time being Shuna, Cheyenne, Elin, and or Trainee, while occasionally swapping them with other nameless monster girls. Rimuru, damn, he's living the dream. Mikoto, ha. Did you say something? Spark. Rimuru, and nothing. I feel Ilya's and Mikoto's stares on my back. Rimuru, anyway, I'm going to deal with this. I activate, Yahweh, and create a weapon. A sword, to be exact. It's a very special sword that holds a very special place in all of our hearts. Its blade shines in a golden glow, there are ornaments of blue and gold on its hilt and handle. Simply looking at it will inspire the purest, most primal emotion of hope and victory. It's X-fucking-Caliber. Before you ask, yes, that's this sword's actual name. X-fucking-Caliber. I'm not changing it. Using Azathoth, I teleport the sword right into Shuna's hands. Grasping the hilt of the sword, information on what it is and how to use it flows into her mind. Shuna, X-fucking-Caliber. What a weird name. But she quickly realizes that using this sword, she can kill evil Rimuru and free everyone, which she does. She turns around and stabs evil Rimuru in the chest with elegant grace. I mean, it was her turn in evil Rimuru's arms. X-fucking-Caliber seals all skills of everyone its wielder considers an enemy within a large radius, so without Great Sage, Predator, and Victor's Spoils, he got stabbed without much resistance. Shuna, X-fucking-Caliber. Boom. With a shout, the sword in Shuna's hands glows before a beam of pure energy rips through Rimuru, turning him and his soul to dust before continuing to shoot into the sky. Rimuru, heh. I can't help but smile at that. As for why I gave Shuna the sword. Well, it's quite simple. I thought it would be funny if she shouted its name, which it was, so that was a success. The other reason would be because I favor her. Aside from Shizu, Shuna was my favorite waifu of the entire series. So yeah, it was blatant favoritism. As an aside, Milim was a close third place. Don't tell anyone. A/N, so Shizu first, Shuna second, Milim third, 3. Well, this was all in the past. Mikoto is my all-time favorite waifu, and she's with me now. Anyway, I think I've done enough in this world. I've seen enough. I'm satisfied. It's time to go to the next world. Rimuru, this time, please tell me where to go, alright? Ilya, *sniff*, I'm sorry. Arg. My heart. Rimuru, no. It's my fault. Don't look sad. Your Oni-chan apologizes. Mikoto just stares at me accusingly. Mikoto, you made her cry. Spark. In any case, we got back on the road. Towards the next world. Under Ilya's guidance, we quickly found the world I wanted, and enter it. Driving around on the ground through the familiar yet unfamiliar Jura forest, I can't help but think to myself. This is the world I was originally supposed to be reborn into, but a Satoru Mikami's soul hit me and knocked me off course. I wonder if that soul was the Rimuru of this world or another world. Boom. A large explosion echoes out from a distance. I roll down the window and poke my head out, my eyes easily taking in the scene from dozens of kilometers away. It's me throwing dark thunder at a big-ass fish. Or rather, a slightly smaller, blue-haired me. He looks around 14 years old compared to the 15-year-old me. It's Rimuru. Mikoto, oh hey, it's Charybdis. Haven't seen that guy in a while. Rimuru, so we appeared in the middle of the Charybdis arc, huh? It seems they already took care of the Megalodons and Rimuru is just testing things out against Charybdis. The explosion we heard was the sound of the other Rimurus, dark thunder, hitting it. Rimuru, it seems they aren't doing much damage to it. Mikoto, any Charybdis does have ultra-speed regeneration. Ilya, it's going to take a lot of resources, dealing with it. Rimuru. Should we step in? Mikoto, well, I was just getting a bit bored. Ilya, a rematch on who can kill it the fastest sounds good too. Right, I guess it's decided then. Shall we go and say hi? Other Rimuru is having a hard time dealing with the giant flying fish, so I decided to go say hi. Literally. Other Rimuru is flying high in the sky using his wings from his shape-shifting skill, flying around Charybdis throwing one attack after the other while dodging the scale bombardment from Charybdis. I think that attack was called Tempest Scale, not important. I teleport next to him. Rimuru, hi. Other Rimuru, holy. As expected, he immediately backs off and becomes wary of me, until he recognizes who I look like. Other Rimuru, you. I show a cheeky grin. I feel his eyes roaming my body and face. Sounds a bit gay, but he's mostly doing that to find out my identity. I mean, we have the exact same face after all. Rimuru, it's no use. I'm hiding everything about myself, you won't find anything. It's true, I used a rune to conceal every piece of information about myself, my race, my magicules, even my presence. Other Rimuru can only see me through his eyes. Maybe through magic sense, if Great Sage calculates how light acts around me, but it can't track my presence itself. God, it's been so long since I've last mentioned the name, Great Sage. Rimuru, now that I think about it, you're still using that skill. It still hasn't evolved into, Raphael? I mutter. Rimuru's face doesn't change from his wary expression, but looking into his eyes, I can see his confusion. It's to be expected, he must have no clue what I'm talking about. Archaika. Asterisk. A heavily distorted roar enters my ears. I turn my head to look at the source. Charybdis. Other Rimuru turns his attention back to the fish too, a more serious expression covering his face. Although it still seems like he's still paying attention to me out of the corner of his eye. I can't help but smile. Rimuru, hey, do you need help with this guy? I ask while gesturing towards the overgrown fish. Other Rimuru, I don't really think I should dash. Arimuru, it's fine. Plus, I'm sure you have questions, so we should wrap this up. I turn to look towards the flying monstrosity. Ah, Charybdis, it's been so long. I wonder how hard I can style on you now, while showing off to my other self. Oh, I know. Let's go with that. I pull on my magicules and evoke Odin. I also disable the magicule concealing effect of the rune, just because. My magicules explodes outwards, covering my body in a dense silver aura. My golden eyes glow as I stare at my target with a slightly, not slightly, feral smile. A magic circle appears around me. No, instead of a circle, it's more like a sphere with me at the center. A/N, my inspiration is the Overlord anime. Just look up Ains vs Shaltir, it's the big-ass magic attack used at the beginning and end of the fight. Rimuru, watch closely, Rimuru, and maybe your Great Sage could copy this one day. Other Rimuru, seriously? Wait, how did you know about Great Sage? I ignore him. Runes form around me, quickly filling with power, the magic sphere quickly becoming more detailed. I may have also added a few useless lines here and there, just to make it look cooler. Rimuru Omi wa Mao, Shindaru. Charybdis and Nani. Charybdis' voice turns normal as he responds. I spread my arms out to my sides and T-pose menacingly, the magic sphere expanding rapidly as it nears completion. Rimuru, fallen down. All sounds disappear as a pillar of light engulfs the massive body of Charybdis in its entirety. Other Rimuru. Everyone watching. Rimuru. Umu. I'd say that's a job well done. There's a giant hole in the ground under where Charybdis used to be. Contrary to how it looks, it doesn't continue down into the center of the world, it ends after a kilometer or so. I added a range limit into the spell so it won't pierce through the entire planet. Although the limit is just for the bottom half of the spell, there is no such thing for the top half. Meanwhile, on a planet several galaxies away. Mwahaha. I have conquered the world. Next, I will ascend into the stars and conquer the whole universe. A galactic overlord in the making declares boldly, before a concentrated beam of magicules appears from space and hits it head-on, killing it instantly. Back to MC. Other Rimuru and I return to where everyone is waiting, which happens to be a cliff. Ilya and Mikoto are there as well. Milim, no fair. You got outside help. I wanted to be the one to kill it, Nanoda. Milim immediately pounced on Other Rimuru, causing him to sigh. Other Rimuru, I didn't ask for help, he just kinda popped out of nowhere. Besides, I would have liked it if Phobio were still alive too. Phobio? Ah, there was that guy too, wasn't there? He was fused with Charybdis, and originally, Other Rimuru would have used this event to create a treaty between himself and Carrion. Rimuru **** fine. A very special item appears in my hands as I turn around and aim it towards the space Charybdis used to be in. It's a gun. Bang! Charybdis ****. Rimuru wah, how the foo dash. Milim, yay. Meanwhile, I take out a meat bun and eat it while everyone, excluding Milim who already left to kill Charybdis again, is looking at me. Rimuru. What? They wanted this. I say while pointing towards Other Rimuru and Milim. Meanwhile, in a castle far away, a certain manipulative demon lord who is spying on the area, Clayman, spits out his drink. Later. The sun has long passed over the horizon, the moon and stars are glowing brightly in the night sky. After Milim killed Charybdis, Mikoto and Ilya also wanted to try killing it, again, so I revived it again via revival gun. Phobio was successfully recovered and Carrion appeared. Other Rimuru and Carrion made a treaty and we all went home. Mikoto, Ilya and I followed Other Rimuru and his subordinates along with Dworgan's Pegasus Knights back to Rimuru. Rimuru is the name of the city in this world, by the way. Avalon would have been called Rimuru as well if I hadn't adamantly refused it, but it seems this Other Rimuru has a weaker will than myself. His subordinates successfully got him to agree on naming this place after him. Oh well, not my problem. A festival is ongoing right now in the city of Rimuru. It's a celebration of the defeat of the ruler of the skies, Charybdis. The streets are filled with monsters dancing, singing, and chattering. The warm lights of the surrounding buildings, the glow of the moon and stars and the fires are enough to light up the surroundings. Hakuru, do it. Rigard, oh. Geld, here it comes. Rigard and Geld threw the corpse of a megalodon at Hakuru on his signal. Shing, shing. Two silvery arcs glide through the flesh of the shark monster before it hits the tarp laid out on the ground, sliding to a halt. The fishy sides of the monster neatly slide off, and the megalodon becomes neatly filleted. Rimuru, amazing. He's a little slower than my world's Hakuru, but his swordsmanship is as masterful as ever. I comment as I watch this scene from the sidelines. It's true, although I've technically become Hakuru's better in swordsmanship if only barely, Hakuru's swordsmanship always remained an art. I can cut things, sure, but I never was able to make it as graceful and awe-inspiring as him. I ended up drawing dicks in the air when I tried, I got beat up because of that. Other Rimuru, Your Hakuru is faster. Seriously? The geezer is one of the fastest people I know. Rimuru, it can't be helped, he's got better resources. And by resources, I mean magicules. I pumped him full of it when I named him after all. Other Rimuru didn't have the luxury of infinite magicules. Plus, Avalon's library has books on pretty much anything, including sword arts. With Ilya's help, the library became something like a pseudo-Akashic records. It's a rapidly expanding repertoire of books collected throughout the multiverse, and the library stores it all in an infinite separate space once a copy is made. Whenever someone enters the library looking for something specific, it brings out books relating to the topic. If someone enters without a specific goal, it just fills the shelves with random interesting books. Of course, some books are banned and won't ever appear on the shelves. One of those books was How to Disgrace the Meat Bun. I destroyed the world this book came from. The wonders of Azathoth, Yahweh, and Odin. But as you can guess, Hakuru, being the sword nut that he is, walked into the library out of curiosity, looking for books on the sword. Needless to say, he was not disappointed. His favorite is the sun-breathing arts from Demon Slayer. Ironic, since he used to be known as the Demon Swordsman. The megalodon fillets were quickly moved into these big-ass pots that are stationed over a big-ass open fire. Inside the big-ass pots are some kind of big-ass broth to cook them big-ass style. But there was more than just one megalodon, and each one was salvaged and cut into edible pieces. Sashimi, sushi, grilled fish, buri daikon, shioyaki sakana, katsuo no tataki, sama no nitsuke, miso-zuke salmon, nanban-zuke, so on, so forth. Honestly, I only know what these dishes are because of Satoru Mikami's memories, and Ilya's ramblings as she stared at all the food as they were being taken out. By the way, she's long gone. Right now, she's in fish heaven. She is gorging herself on the tables of food without a hint of stopping. Shuna is also being showered with praises by her other Rimuru. How can she fit all that food in that small body? Other Rimuru mutters to himself. I look at Makoto, who is standing a little bit away, who also heard him. Our eyes meet, and we shrug. I look back towards other Rimuru. Rimuru, you get used to it. Other Rimuru, so. Are you going to explain? Other Rimuru asks me. Rimuru, explain what? Other Rimuru, explain who you are. Why do you look like me? I also heard from your companions that you're also called Rimuru, so. Rimuru, ah, yes. Well, don't worry. Everything will be explained, in time. I respond while nodding sagely. Other Rimuru. Rimuru, cough, I'm joking, I just wanted to say that. I'll explain now. So, to answer your questions. First off, yes, my name is Rimuru. Unlike you, I don't have a last name. And as for who I am exactly. I pause for suspense. Rimuru gulps. I look him dead in the eyes. Rimuru. I am you. Other Rimuru, eh? Rimuru, I'm also a cooler, eviler version of you. Other Rimuru, yeah. Milim, seriously. Does that mean you're a demon Lord Nanoda? Milim jumps in, interrupting our conversation. I look at her. Both her hands are occupied with skewered fish sticks. Rimuru, no. But she is. I say while pointing towards Makoto, who waves at us. Milim, really? Hey, do you want to be my friend Nanoda? Rimuru, yeah, why not? I also have a friend named Milim. Milim, really? Rimuru, she's also a demon lord. Other Rimuru, not another one. Milim stops talking. Milim. Did I say something wrong? Milim. I have a twin sister. How did you reach that conclusion? A few minutes later, after calming Milim down. Rimuru, **** back to what I was saying. I'm not actually an eviler version of you. Other Rimuru breathes a sigh of relief. Rimuru, but I am cooler. He chokes. And so begins the 5-minute explanation of parallel worlds and the fact that I am an OP version of him from said parallel worlds. Rimuru, also you're the original. Other Rimuru, original. Rimuru, yeah. As if in, this world is the original world. It's the source, the beginning. Every other world that is classified as a parallel world branches off from this one. It's something I realized when I came to this world. There are many, many worlds out there. Or to be more specific, many universes. Each universe is enclosed within a world barrier, like a bubble. And there are many bubbles out there, floating in the vast sea of emptiness, aka the void. Any world that is similar to this world has its bubble closer. This also works vice versa, the more different one world is to another, the farther their bubbles will be. So in the sea of a quite possibly infinite amount of worlds, parallel worlds, which are worlds that are similar to the extremes, are clustered together. They are also linked together in some weird way. The kaleidoscope from the Fate universe uses these connections to operate, so if it's not a parallel world, it won't be able to affect it. And this world is at the very center of that cluster. As an aside, my world is also quite close to the center. Rimuru, of course, there is a lot more fuckery in dealing with the void and different worlds, but I just don't think about it too much. I look at other Rimuru and see the lost look on his face. I'm sure, great sage, got everything, so it can probably tell it to him slowly over time. It's not really important info anyways, it's just a bit of trivia. Rimuru, all in all, this world is the original. I should be calling you original Rimuru because of that, Boot. Nah. I'll just continue calling you other Rimuru instead. Other Rimuru breaks out from his stupor and looks at me with an annoyed expression. Other Rimuru, wait, you've been calling me other Rimuru? Rimuru. Other Rimuru. Answer me. Rimuru. I say nothing and just continue to nibble on my meat bun. Name, Rimuru. Race, origin slime. Protection, crest of space. Title, highest tier spirit, leader of the monsters, Oniai-chan, king of Avalon, master of head pats, procrastinator king, the nutcracker, socially awkward cringe slightly Chuyuni slime, true dragon slayer, sensei, world's strongest, overpowered to a stupid degree, Mikoto's equal, non-virgin. Codex, Iliasville. Ultimate skills, Yahweh, god of creation, Odin, god of runes, Azathoth, god of void, alternative. Equipment, Yamato, Genesis.